Kev, will you mute your mic?
Just open up the podcast with just the turning signal. Just no intro.
Damn. That makes me want to kill myself.
Fans would love it.
Welcome back, Washed Up Walkons fans, episode 206, I believe, of the podcast. And I would like to apologize in advance for both mine and Kevin's poor audio quality today. Kevin, I think, is on the road selling people hip replacements. And I just forgot my mic. I knew I was not going to be at home today. I forgot to pack my mic in my bag. That's my fault, gang. Apologies. I don't really have too much else funny to say. Kevin showed up late per usual. He said he was going to be 5 minutes late. It was actually 7 minutes late. Doyle would have actually killed him. That's neither here nor there. Welcome to the podcast. Kluver, what do you got?
Kevin might have a rebuttal. He turned his mic.
How many times I gotta tell y'all? I don't sell hip replacements, knee replacements. I fix people. People break shit and I fix them. That's what I do.
He said that in the intro, and I was like, I think he could maybe sell a young 16-year-old who's perfectly healthy and fit a knee replacement, maybe.
I'll never remember what you do, Kevin, because I just simply don't care.
What do you do again, Drake? What do you do for a living?
I'm a bum. You know
I can't remember. I always forget what you do too. I don't know.
Do you remember the beach bum from the beach bum story?
Yeah,
that they told us.
The beach bum and the millionaire.
Yeah, well, I'm just the beach bum part.
Or was it just the beach bum? It was the beach bum and the millionaire, and it was the same guy, right?
Yeah, you just have to decide which path you take. And right now, I'm just taking the beach bum path.
Hey, we love it. You know, you're a content god. We have a few things to talk about. Probably a shorter episode. Fans, you're looking at maybe 30 to 40 minutes if we get real lengthy. But the one thing that we want to talk about tonight is spring ball. We're back in full effect. I don't know if that brings back any PTSD or like sharp memories that jolt Drake or Kevin, but we'll see here in a second. I also want to shout out a couple new Patreon members. For some reason, the Patreon's been popping off. I guess people have been loving that shit. So I'm glad we're doing something right over there. And a couple more people deserve their rightful shout out. So we have Becky, Dakota Woodley, who's been very active on the social media lately, and Ben Good. Becky, Dakota, and Ben, thank you guys for joining the Walk-On Army. And now you have all those delicious perks. It may be because Drake and I said we would potentially get physical with, two of those three are women. So I'm taken, and actually so is Drake, and so is Kevin, I'm pretty sure. So that's all alleged and neither here nor there. Spring ball. What do you boys think of when you think spring ball? I always thought hardest time of the year, but not for me. Does that correlate?
That's that right there. That's my thoughts on spring ball.
That's it.
Just
Spring
a
ball's the dumbest
long,
thing in history.
grown. Yeah. No, I don't think spring ball is as bad as camp. I'd take spring ball over camp, not every day.
Okay. See, I knew. I mean, I was always in a general position of difference because while I still was there for the time, I was still putting in the actual time volume, the physical volume, and definitely the mental volume were never the same for me. So I got to see you guys go through the 2 periods which were the most grueling. I always thought spring ball was just like, I guess maybe it really depends on your class load too. Like if you're a young guy and you have a full schedule and you're also trying to compete and really win a spot in spring ball, like a lot of young guys do. I've been talking about that a lot on the Patreon only podcast for the 3rd tiers, the roster series. There's a lot of these guys. They're like, all right, it's year 2, it's year 3. Need to find some time on the field here, or I'm going to get passed up. Having to deal with that and also a really heavy workload academically, that can be grindy. And camp doesn't obviously have that, the academic side to it, but obviously the football is all day, every day then. So I don't know. You guys would rather spring ball than camp?
No, I'd rather camp than spring ball. At least you get to play games after you go to camp. After you go to spring ball, you just get to go back to absolutely nothing just to do it all over again. It sucks ass.
It's bad.
Dude, are you kidding me? The 2 weeks after spring ball before the end of the semester is like the best time of the year. I look forward to that every time. Like, all you do is work out in the morning, you got class, and then that's it. It's like the least amount of like time.
I don't disagree, but the thing is that you still don't have football games afterwards. So you just bashed each other's heads in for a long time, got a lot of headaches, probably a lot of people got hurt, and then there was no actual football games afterwards. I hated it. That's my take.
There you go.
See, but what you got to do though is after the spring game is you got to get absolutely blitzed out of your mind, and that was great.
I'll never forget.
It is cool for one night, but then the hangover the next day is now the 16th spring practice, dude.
True. That's so true.
See, but the thing for me was like, dude, camp's a grind, and then the season is a grind. Okay, there's no break. It's from August through January that you're just all right. Well, it's August 1st. We're going back to camp, and I'm going to be in pain for the next 8 months, and that's just great. At the end of spring ball, he's like, oh man, little beat up, not terrible. Only 15 practices spread out over 5 weeks. Now we're just working out. Got to get time to get my body right. Going into summer, great time of year. I don't know. I thought spring ball was a lot more fun than camp.
I don't know, man. You're a bit of a masochist, but yeah, we'll move on.
I'm curious, Drake, as you sat, because you guys were players who actually got you visited the training room more than just for the hot tub. Which I dearly miss, by the way. There's mornings where I wake up and I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to roll into the complex and just dip down into the hot tub and sit next to.
Dude, that is like the hardest transition, like post college training, is like you don't get a nice 10-minute hot tub to warm up every day anymore.
Yeah,
and that thing makes a difference. And
it's super privileged to say that, but it's just the truth. You know, for 4 years, you hop in a hot tub every day to kind of get your morning. It's like a cup of coffee. It's like your own. It's like you're the.
Seriously, man.
Yeah,
and back when you're at Iowa, you spend 10, 15 minutes in the hot tub before a workout. Like you never went into that thing sore or like, you need to stretch out more before you start the workout. Now, granted, I'm a few years older now, but every time I go into the gym now, I'm like stiff as shit. I'm just like, dude, I just want to bend over, and now I got to put 400 pounds on my back. It's like, I really could use a hot tub right now.
Kevin, you're gonna be that guy who gets up out of bed, and like when your bottom of your feet hit the floor, it's gonna send that pain up your ankles into your knees. Like that's gonna be you when you're 45, dude.
Dude, it's me as I'm 26. I'm beating the fuck out of my body, but I goddamn love it. So I'm going to keep doing it until they replace every fucking joint I got, and they're going to make me a cyborg.
Drake, he's gonna run his own joints into the ground so that he can get commission off himself.
I'm telling you,
straight, buddy.
The ultimate.
We got quotas to make, man. We got quotas to make.
Yeah, dude, Kevin's the ultimate sleaze bag.
Unbelievable.
He's the only guy Listen, Kevin's the only kind of prick that wears his own joints out so that he can continue to get employee of the month.
And he accepts it. He accepts that award in a wheelchair on the stage. Like he rolls it up there and he's like, I'd like to shout out myself for continuing to max out my deadlift for the last 22 years in a row. Where I was going with what?
I was about to say, if you ain't selling joints to yourself, then you're not selling to all your customers. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. Drake, where I was going with that is people who visited the training room, sat there and got their ankles taped and kind of, mentally prepared for practice. Kind of, you just sit there and you let the trainers do their work on you. Did that induce an anxiety of knowing like, okay, I'm sitting here, I'm getting my ankles taped, I'm mentally going over.
Dude, okay. I cannot tell you how bad I did not want to be there. I cannot explain it. Like the feeling, like the sick feeling of just like, I would do anything to not be going to hurt myself right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at because when you're doing other stuff, right? You're putting on your pads. I mean, even then there's just like this groan of like, oh, here we go. We're about to do it. But when you're doing something active, it almost takes your mind off of it. But what I imagine as you sit there and get your ankles taped and you're just kind of scrolling on your phone is like, it's this downtime where the only thing that creeps into your mind is, all right, in 35 minutes, I have to be on one. I have to be lit up like a little elf on cocaine to run my neck into brick walls for 90 minutes. And it's just not something that I would ever sign up for.
I had a bottle of ammonia in the locker, and that was my powdered sugar for the elves. First of all, yeah, put some respect on the elves. Santa doesn't let them have cocaine in the North Pole. That's powdered sugar.
But they're still snorting it, dude.
Yes, but it's not cocaine.
I just imagine that just sitting there, just waiting for. It's like waiting for war, dude. Spring ball is a huge time, huge time, especially for the young guys, like I mentioned. Here's an interesting stat, right? Jack Campbell and Dane Belton, arguably two of our better defensive players, they have not gone through a spring ball yet. And they've played 2 seasons for the Hawks already. They're going to be going into their 3rd. Isn't that insane?
Sounds lucky to me. I want to hear how they got out of this.
Well, they played as true freshmen and then COVID hit.
Sounds lucky to me. Gosh damn it.
I don't know about that. So what I see in guys like them, and then also guys, everyone, spring ball is this massive period of development. Kevin, in your mind, what are some of the biggest ways to develop? What kind of development happens for a guy like that who hasn't had a spring ball? He's already been on the field for 2 years, but he hasn't had a spring ball yet. What does spring ball provide the opportunity for more than anything? Is it mental?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally mental reps, but you should be taking mental reps from the moment you walk in the door. There's really no substitution for getting live reps. So say this is going to be like your first time running with the ones or with the twos, like it's just that much faster as far as how the speed of the game. So there's really no way to simulate that just watching tape. So, you spend your first 2 years kind of just getting a feel for the defense. You should really just know your position, your assignments, everyone else's assignments. But getting those reps once you break the 2 deep, that's the biggest thing in my opinion. And there's plenty of reps to be had because those practices are 3.5 hours long. Jesus Christ.
A lot of specialist golf going on. So something interesting happened. Tyler Linderbaum he's our All-American center. He's potentially the best center in college football. He's going to go to the NFL next year. We got him for 1 more year, and he's going to be in the league for a long time. And I actually talked about this on today's roster series podcast. We just had, and I don't know if either of you are aware of this, probably not. We just had our backup center enter the transfer portal. Noah Fensky is his name. He was gonna be a sophomore, third year, and I wonder what your guys' thoughts are on the transfer portal. Drake, you probably don't give a shit so much and you don't follow it, but Kevin maybe more
We've
so.
talked about this before, bro.
No, but it's gone to a whole nother level this year where there's some absurd number of kids that are like in the transfer portal. And I almost like
we're in a quitter's society, pal. This thing is going to get out of control. Football's not even going to exist after a little while because you can't have a functioning football team with 30 guys. But there's only going to be 30 guys willing to stay on the team because those are the only ones going to get the playing time. Everybody else is going to fucking quit and go cry to their mommies.
I don't know if this is the reason for this Noah Fensky kid transferring, but the way I look at it is I hope it's not. I hope it's something like he just doesn't like football anymore. Everybody on this podcast would understand that, or he was struggling in school. I don't hope that those are the cases, but I hope that it's something other than not getting playing time, because if you look at what this kid was in line for, you're going back to guys like James Ferentz, James Daniels, Austin Blythe, all guys who, I mean, if you're an Iowa center, you're going to play in the league, dude. Like it's better chance that you do than you don't. And so he was in line to take over for Linderbaum after he leaves for the league. And then he gets to be the Iowa center for 2 years. I don't know. It sucks. And now a young guy has to step in. So the center position, or sometimes the guards, I know that Sean Welsh was very versatile. James Daniels was versatile. We'd like to have versatile offensive linemen. It's going to be a really big spot to figure out. Will be interesting because the Hawks are live on Saturday. Kevin, are you going to be able to make it there? You gonna show up in Kinnick?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to show up. I'd love to heckle Coach Woods and Seth Wallace, but if the schedule allows, I'll be there.
Okay. Speaking of heckling Coach Woods or Coach Wallace, there is a player media day today, and Tory Taylor, who is an absolute legend, he was up. Charlie Jones, incredible at the return position last year. He spoke. Max Cooper spoke. Ellen DeGeneres Part 2. Him and Gervais fight for the Ellen DeGeneres Award.
What did that goofy asshole have to say?
I didn't listen to much other than Tory. And you would think that I would, right? And then who else spoke? Tyrone Tracy spoke a little bit too. He said, they asked him about Petrus, and he was like, yeah, you guys know last year he wasn't the most accurate, and during spring ball, Spencer's been on the money. So, I mean, maybe more importantly than any of the young guys trying to fight for a position is Spencer Petrus's spring ball this season. I mean, he's had a spring ball before 2 years ago, but not as the one, and so this is huge for him as well. But then I tweeted out, I was like, damn, this live player media, now that we can watch it happen live on YouTube because of the whole COVID thing, it's hilarious. And then I tweeted again, I was like, what if I applied for a Iowa football press pass? And then in the middle of the interview, it's like, next question is from Tyler Kluver, washed up walk-ons. Can you guys imagine if I infiltrated?
That would be legendary, dude. I implore you to do so, because that would be the ultimate troll, man. That would feel so good.
The fans were all over it, and I had half of the media guys, I'm talking half of the media guys, reach out to me in DMs and say, you should hop in. It would be amazing. And I was like,
seriously, what's stopping you though?
Well, I just don't think I can just do that, right? Like you have to have the info to get in on the call, which I may or may not be having sent to me tomorrow when the coaches speak, Coach Woods being one of them. So I might be jumping in.
Dude, if you get a question to Coach Woods, bro, if it actually says from Tyler Kluver, oh God, that would be awesome.
Well, this comes out on Thursday, so you guys listening right now can go back and find it if it's happened. I think that tomorrow, Wednesday, I am going to hop in on that call and try and come up with a positive question that actually is very informative and something that only a player could come up with, a former player. But I'm gonna try and be funny as hell too. And if I have a feeling that Steve Rowe might shut it down before it ever happens because it's all online. So like I think you have to type in the chat, raise your hand, and they're gonna see like Tyler Kluver and be like, how the fuck did this guy get in here? But I think I'm gonna try it, boys. Washed Up Walk-Ons is gonna be live at Coach's Press tomorrow.
Steve Rowe's gonna see Tyler Kluver's name pop up, and he's gonna be like, "There's a rat."
Get this fucking guy out of here. Yeah, but everybody was so for it, dude. I'm talking everyone, and it really made me think like, shit. Could I liven up media day a little bit? Could I go be the Pat McAfee in Iowa City and like make people laugh and not be so uptight? Maybe.
That would be some tremendous stuff, man. If you can pull that off, that's content I'm here for.
It'd be incredible. I might try. Have you guys seen? So I took a few questions, and we're gonna finish on some questions here. Do you guys, either of you guys, have anything come across your Twitter timeline? I know you guys both were basically just dormant. Drake, you've been dormant, and Kevin. But have you guys heard of this Cooper Dejean kid?
He's from high school, right? He's pretty new.
Yep.
I heard of him in high school.
He's so one of the questions was, what do you think about him and his chances once he gets to Iowa? And I watched him play basketball this past season, and I understand he's playing against the farm kids of Iowa. These kids literally just were out breaking the ice in the water trough for the cattle, and then they came in and laced up their Nike Elites and are trying to guard this kid. But what he was doing to kids on the basketball court and the dunks that he was throwing down, he was extremely athletic and is just an absolute baller. It doesn't matter what sport, I imagine. And so the answer to that question, specifically me, because I probably know more about him than either of the other two, is I would compare this kid to if some of you remember a while back, I think it was 2016 or 17, we had a kid named Noah Kleberg on the team. And he, maybe because these two kids look like each other a little bit or what, but just extremely built out of high school, already very athletic, way, way beyond his competition in high school. I think that he's a kid like him, and he's just going to find the field. Reminds me a little bit of Brandon Snyder as well. Snyder built himself while he was at Iowa, but he just a kid who worked his ass off in the weight room. He's going to play special teams. You might find him at gunner if he's got the speed. Otherwise, he's going to be somewhere on punt. I mean, this kid's going to make it his way onto the field. And in high school, he played quarterback, running back, receiver. He filled the water bottles.
Did he play at Ankeny?
No. He played small school, like OABCIG something. And he torched kids, dude. It was like watching Josie Jewell if he went and played at Decorah right now. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it.
All right. Well, all right. Next question.
How sore were you after the first day of full contact football? Did we ever have like the shells practice to start spring ball, or did we go straight into the pads?
No, you do. You have shells.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be very illegal. We'd be getting people fired if you were to say that.
Well, I just couldn't remember if that was the rule, because I know in camp you start off with a couple days.
Yeah, man, my neck pretty much always felt as if I was going to quadriplegic any day.
Kev,
Yeah,
how'd the
I
knees
remember.
feel?
It was always the neck that was the most sore.
And then you just build up the scar tissue around all the joints, and it's all good, dude.
No, you get used to being sore.
Yeah, that's your body, your natural baseline when you wake up in the morning just changes a little bit. Yeah, I understand that. We really didn't. I'm a little disappointed in the walk-on army, to be honest. Didn't get a lot of questions. Tweeted this in the morning, 10:30 in the morning. Here's something to talk about a little bit. Not really. Kevin was a linebacker. Oh, we shit on you all over the place, by the way, the other day, Kev.
Oh, sweet. With Christian?
Yeah, with Christian.
I'm going to text him and call him a little bitch still.
What was funny was in the podcast, he actually brought up when he was telling how he kind of got on Iowa's radar, how he's like, I went to the camps and then they offered the scholarship. You guys know how that goes. And we were both like, whoa, buddy. We still don't know what that's like. But the other day we were talking about how, he was telling about how he would like watch Josie and you and all the bullshit, but we made sure to crap on you pretty hard.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I don't even know where I was. I know. This is a DB topic or question. You're really a linebacker, but we have a transfer from UNI named Xavier Williams, who played.
I heard this kid is an insane athlete.
Yeah. So I'm a little perplexed at how we're gonna fit him in. I don't know where he's gonna go. I could pull up the depth chart here, and I don't think he's on the initial spring depth chart. And it would be very hard to be on our spring depth chart because of one specific reason, and that is
He's never taken a rep as an Iowa Hawkeye.
Well, but he's not even a 2, right? And we have maybe the most experienced back 4, like D-back core in the Big Ten. I mean, potentially in the country. We are extremely deep. Or not deep, but we are extremely experienced. Matt Hankins is back for his what seems like 18th year. I mean, he played like
him and Kemmer are going in their 7th year.
Yeah, him and Kemmer are gonna graduate when they're 62.
They're gonna die Hawkeyes, dude. Like actually in uniform.
They're gonna keep finding ways to play. So he's back. Huge to have Hankins back, especially with the vocal leadership role that a lot of coaches and players have talked about him assuming over the past year plus. Riley Moss, who started as a freshman, got absolutely torched by Purdue in his freshman year, but has continued to grow and is really pretty solid at the other corner. And then we have Jack Kerner and Kayvon Merriweather, who are both experienced guys at the safety position. It's tough to find playing time when you're looking at those 4 guys, and Xavier Williams comes in as another DB.
You left out Dane Belton too,
right at the cash position, who played that well last year, and quite honestly, I think it has the highest ceiling on this defense. I think Dane Belton, until it doesn't happen, I think Dane Belton is Cam Chancellor. That's just in my mind. I think that's what it is. I don't even think the kid.
Do you realize how big Cam Chancellor was, dude?
Okay, he's not physically Cam Chancellor, but he's gonna be in the top half of safeties in the league at some point. I truly believe that. I don't even think Dane Belton has reached 50% of his potential in football yet, and he was murdering kids last year. So you're looking at 5 DBs there. I mean, the cash position that Dane plays is a little bit walk down linebacker, 5th DB, but maybe Xavier fits in there. Maybe he's DB is not really a spot where you play a breather guy, is it, Kev? Like it's not like D line where you rotate, or could it be?
Yeah, not really. No, we never really did that much during my time. I mean,
special teams.
I've heard the kid's a really good athlete, but like you said, where do you put him? Because we got guys all over the place.
I don't know.
I I don't know if he's. See, the thing I have, I'm not 100% sure. You could probably check on this, but I heard he's kind of short.
Yeah,
I don't know. You kind of want a guy with some longer arms to play that cash position because you're going to be taking on blocks from wide receivers, and you really got to set the edge. So I don't know if he really fits that role.
Yeah, so Xavier Williams, he's 5'11", 190. Like, that's not Dane Belton. Dane's a little different than that. Dane stands at 6'1". It says 190. I would bet he's closer to the old 2 bill mark.
Yeah. Maybe he competes for that other corner job opposite Hankins. Yeah. I don't know, but
he could.
I know one thing: there's never been a shortage of talent. There's competition is a good thing. So
yep.
Not worried about it.
Yeah. What I'll end the podcast with is this, because again, I'm disappointed in Washed Up Walkons Nation. There weren't a bunch of other questions. Maybe you know what? I fucked up. That's on me. That's on me.
You're right.
Extreme ownership. That's on me. And I'll do better next time. I'll leave you guys with this. Almost everybody, I think Spencer said it. Max said it today. Somebody else said it. 2 names that are popping up on the radar as young guys who just enrolled at semester. They've literally been in the program for 10, 12 weeks at this point, are Keegan Johnson, freshman wide receiver out of Kansas City, and Arlen Bruce, who was out of Kansas and then moved and won a state championship with Ankeny this last season. Both guys who were really projected to do something, and they're already being talked about a lot. So that's really good news. It's, we lose 2 guys, obviously, in Brandon and Amir. So doesn't hurt to have depth at the wide receiver position. And I doubt either of you have seen some of the highlights that I saw on Twitter of either of these kids, but let me tell you, this Keegan Johnson kid, he is a 6'1", probably close to 200-pound receiver he's not as physically imposing as Brandon Smith, but I would call him a bigger playmaker, like potential. I think he's
Are you telling me that he could be a dude?
I think Keegan Johnson could be a dude. And Arlen Bruce, he's a shorter guy, 5'10", but he's stocky, probably 190, 195. And in the slot, he's shifty. He's incredible with the ball in his hands. And I think it's 2 guys that 100% will play this fall. And one of the big things that will tell us a lot about that is this Saturday. So I don't know about you, Kev, but anytime you get to be back in the walls of Kinnick, it fires me up pretty good.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping to go to this thing, scout the new boys, and see what type of team we got going on this year.
So there you go. Drake, you'll be in Arizona, just soak it in the sun, and that's
I wish I could be in Kinnick, man. I do miss Kinnick a lot. I see pictures of it sometimes, and I think I cannot believe those years are behind us.
Doesn't it feel like we're still in it?
There's no chance we finished that quickly. But
Dude,
it actually
those years
took
are not
forever.
only behind us. Those years are not only behind us; they're getting pretty fucking far behind us at this point.
I know.
There's one class of guys left that we even shared time with.
I know, and I don't even remember half of them. This roster series has been big for me, honestly, because I'm learning the roster inside and out. And there's a lot of dudes like Johnny Pleva. I just went over him the other day. Plev's brother. They're twins, dude. They're absolute twins. Except for Johnny's a little bit smaller, but
Macon had a little bit better frame to work with, I would say.
But he's still beefy. He's 235 pounds. Bunch of guys on here that are just, it's been fun. That's it. I'm excited to be back in Kinnick. Football's great. We are old. Dude, Drake, I know the next time that you step foot in Kinnick Stadium, I know the day. Unless you make an attempt or are just back in Iowa City in the falls for some reason, it'll be the 10-year reunion of the Rose Bowl team.
Yeah, probably.
Assuming that they do that.
Assuming I'm even invited.
You might get the DJK treatment, bro.
Dog, you got to realize, I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility.
Yes, it is.
You think they like me around them places?
There's no way you're getting DJK'd.
You don't think?
They might like others more than you. Do they like Kevin Ward more than they like Drake Kulik? Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
But did you do anything enough to... I mean, KF, he knows how many times you met with Carmen. You're liable to show up to the game strapped up anyway. If you're not invited.
That's not, you can't say that.
So I think it's probably in their best interest to invite you. And yeah, I think that'll be the next time that you're back in the stadium. And maybe we just get you in the pads that day and you just run it back. 23B.
Oh, I don't know about that, boys. Don't think there's too much B play in my future.
No, probably not. And you'll be fresh off like a fair amount of alcohol probably once you're inside the stadium. So that's it. Little spring ball preview. Hopefully Kevin gets to go inside and see some of it. I will be there watching all of it. So we'll break some of this down in.
Whoa. You're coming to town, buddy?
Yeah, bro, I'm coming.
Oh, well, fuck, dude. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah. So I'll be in contact with you, Kevin, when Saturday gets here. But
all right, screw it. I'll be there.
You won't.
No.
You won't, dude. You won't even come back for like a. What would it take to get you back, Drake, for a game that wasn't a game that we were invited to?
If
top 10 matchup.
If Pete and Kim were like, dude, all three of you guys have to be here and we'll do it big, I would show up. But it would have to involve. It would probably have to involve Pete and Kim.
Wow.
I actually ran into Pete. What was that, Friday? I ran into him.
What a legend.
He told me they're not doing the thing in the hotel above right across from Kinnick anymore.
Really?
I was very sad to hear that. No, yeah, they're not.
Man, that
said the owner was kind of trying to screw him out, like they wanted too much money or something like that. And they just kept changing things around on him. So yeah, they're not going to be up there anymore.
That's trash.
I know. I was super disappointed.
We really should do a little. We need to find a way to do like a live podcast from Gray's, like sponsored by them, and like get people.
I hate to make you even more sad that Gray's ain't even open right now. You know that whole strip of buildings that they're in?
Yeah.
Getting demolished. They're building up a new high-rise there.
What?
Yeah, dude. Iowa City is.
Pete had told us about that a couple of years ago.
Dude, I'm pissed.
So they said they're probably going to do like just catering and to-go place, and that's it.
Holy shit. That's so sad. Here's one more.
It's not really that sad because Gray's is still good. Like their catering business was by far their biggest business anyways.
True.
So
here's one more question. We need to get one of the boys on here soon, before like they're engulfed back in NFL shit. Who do we get on? I mean, we just get both Josie and Ike on for more episodes. You said Pat today, Drake. Who do we get first?
I don't care. Just one of them. Pat Anger, you owe me a fucking favor, bub.
He owes himself a favor. He needs to start taking care of himself. Jesus Christ. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed that little insight. We're going to be there. If you see me or Kevin, I won't speak for Kevin. KF taught us not to speak for our teammates. If you see me and you notice me and for some reason you want to strike up a conversation or whatever, do it.
But just know, if you start a conversation with Kluver, he talks so much. It's insane.
Talk a lot, bro. In fact, actually, in the conversations, Morehouse was responding to the whole walk-on media press pass today, and he responded with, Ferentz used to say you talk too much. And I was like, he was being generous. It just is what it is, man. And now I'm a podcaster.
KF's a straight shooter, dude.
Yeah, no, and that's real. And I always, the thing that always comes back to my mind is somewhere Coach Doyle is sitting at his home, and every once in a while he thinks Kluver became a podcaster. That fucking makes sense. And he's just shit. He's still shitting on me from.
And then he also says, and his podcast sucks ass. Also makes sense.
Wow, that
all
dude.
while
That
doing CrossFit, the world makes sense.
Hey,
dude. If he looks at your two co-hosts, Kluver's podcast with Drake on it, this thing sucks, and he doesn't even listen, and that's it.
I swear to God, I don't care if this podcast dies out after however long. I will get Doyle on a mic for an hour, and we will talk at some point. I don't care if it's 10, 15 years from now. It's going to go down.
Good luck, man.
Well, Doyle knows he's on mic. Are you just going to catch him?
Oh, no, I'll tell him. I'm telling. It's going to be past. It's going to be past the time when anyone ever gives a shit. And, who knows, 2035, the Washed Up Walk-Ons releases an episode after 10 years of being dormant, and it's just episode whatever, Chris Doyle. I mean, how legendary of a comeback would that be?
That would be you know what, I'm gonna save what I was about to say. I'll piss some people off right there. I'm just gonna stop.
Save it for when we pod with Doyle. All right, that's it. Episode 206. We're glad you joined us. It's the Washed Up Walk-Ons. Love it or leave it. USA #1. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.